BRICS versus NATO, Global Military Power Comparison. Geopolitical Analysis 2024. Comparative Analysis. BRICS military as a broader collective versus NATO. In the modern geopolitical landscape, two major military alliances represent significant power blocs on the global stage. BRICS, which includes Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. While NATO is a traditional military alliance rooted in the Cold War, BRICS has emerged as a more economic political bloc with aspirations for a multipolar world. However, when expanded to include strategic regional groupings aligned with or adjacent to BRICS members, the comparison becomes more nuanced. To understand this, we must look at BRICS as part of a broader collective military power, factoring in its ties with other organizations and regions such as East Asia, the Middle East, OPEC+, OIC, East Europe, Russia with CIS and CSTO, China with SCO, India with SAARC, ASEAN, NAM, and broader partnerships across Africa, Latin America, and the Asia-Pacific. This collective provides an intriguing counterweight to NATO, the world's most powerful military alliance, consisting of 31 member states from North America and Europe. Below, we provide a comprehensive comparative analysis of BRICS as a broader military coalition versus NATO, analyzing each bloc's structure, capabilities, and potential impact on global security dynamics. 1. Structural differences and alliances. BRICS, collective framework. BRICS, originally an economic bloc, does not have a unified military alliance, but its members are aligned with various regional military and political groupings that can serve as military extensions. Here's a breakdown of these affiliations. Russia. A key player in BRICS, Russia is militarily strong and is the de facto leader of two military alliances, the CIS, Commonwealth of Independent States, and CSTO, Collective Security Treaty Organization. The CSTO acts as a regional security organization for Eurasia, comparable to NATO. China. China leads the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, SECO, which, though primarily an economic and political group, includes security and counter-terrorism cooperation. It involves countries like Russia, Central Asian states, India, and Pakistan, making it a significant force in Asia. India. India is part of SAARC and ASEAN Regional Forum, engaging with South Asian and Southeast Asian countries in regional security dialogues. It also has deep ties with NAM, non-aligned movement, positioning itself as a neutral yet influential player. Middle East and OPEC+ countries in the Middle East, particularly major players like Saudi Arabia and Iran, engage in military and economic cooperation through OPEC+ and the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC. Both organizations influence military dynamics, especially with respect to oil-rich nations that have strategic global significance. Africa and Latin America. South Africa's presence in BRICS extends influence into Africa, where regional military cooperation is essential. Meanwhile, Latin American countries like Brazil and Venezuela, although not militarily robust, contribute to BRICS's global reach. Central American and Caribbean alliances, notably Mexico, provide additional ties to the Western Hemisphere. This diverse array of alliances makes BRICS a complex web of military cooperation, although lacking NATO's centralized command structure. NATO framework. NATO, in contrast, is a formal military alliance established in 1949 with a clear command structure and a unified defense policy. NATO's core principle is collective defense, as stated in Article 5, which means an attack on one member is considered an attack on all. NATO's membership includes North America, the United States, and Canada, with the US being the world's preeminent military power. Europe. Most European countries, including the UK, France, Germany, and Turkey, are NATO members, providing substantial military capabilities. NATO's structure allows for rapid deployment of forces, integrated military planning, and joint exercises, enabling it to act swiftly and cohesively in military operations. 2. Military capabilities. BRICS collective military strength. When considering BRICS and its extended allies, Russia, China, India, and their regional affiliations, the military potential is formidable. Manpower. BRICS nations collectively boast enormous military manpower, with China having the world's largest standing army, around 2 million active personnel, followed by India with around 1.4 million, Russia with around 1 million, and significant forces in Brazil and South Africa. Nuclear capabilities. BRICS includes Russia, which has the largest nuclear arsenal globally, and China and India, both of which are nuclear-armed states. This provides a potent deterrent against potential adversaries. Technological advancement. Russia is renowned for its advanced missile systems, aircraft, and cyber warfare capabilities. China is rapidly modernizing its military, focusing on naval power, space capabilities, and missile technology, while India has developed indigenous missile systems and has a growing naval presence. Regional influence. The addition of OPEC+, CSTO, SCO, and other regional alliances amplifies BRICS' military footprint, particularly in Asia and Eurasia, where CSTO and SCO countries cooperate on defense and security. Middle Eastern states, through OIC and OPEC+, also possess significant military hardware, largely sourced from global arms markets. However, BRICS' military capability is somewhat fragmented, with no formal command structure, making it difficult to compare directly with NATO's integrated system. NATO military strength. NATO is undoubtedly the most powerful military alliance globally. Its military capabilities include manpower. Although NATO has fewer active personnel than the BRICS bloc, around 3.5 million, it is a highly trained, technologically advanced force. Nuclear capabilities. The US, the UK, and France collectively control a substantial portion of the world's nuclear arsenal. NATO also practices nuclear sharing, whereby US nuclear weapons are stationed in allied countries like Germany, Belgium, and Turkey. Technological superiority. NATO forces, particularly those of the US, lead in technological innovation, from stealth aircraft like the F-35 to advanced missile defense systems, drones, and cyber warfare capabilities. NATO countries, especially the US, allocate enormous resources to maintaining technological superiority. Integrated command. NATO has a highly efficient integrated command structure led by the Supreme Allied Commander Europe, SAARC. This allows for coordinated operations, planning, and deployment across multiple theaters of conflict. NATO's technological edge, particularly in air and naval power, surpasses that of individual BRICS nations, although Russia and China have made significant strides in challenging NATO's dominance. Geopolitical reach and influence. BRICS. Geopolitical influence. BRICS, with its extended alliances, spans Latin America, Africa, Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. This gives it a global reach, though its military influence is somewhat regionalized. Russia dominates the Eurasian region through CSTO and CIS, with significant influence in Eastern Europe and Central Asia. China has expanded its reach in the Asia-Pacific, with growing influence over the South China Sea and relations with countries in ASEAN and Africa through its Belt and Road Initiative. India is pivotal in South Asia, with growing military cooperation with Southeast Asian countries through ASEAN and also projects power in the Indian Ocean. Africa and Latin America are less militarily integrated but remain strategically important for BRICS' economic and political influence. NATO. Geopolitical influence. NATO's geopolitical influence is largely concentrated in Europe and North America, but its reach extends globally through partnerships and military bases. North Atlantic influence. NATO maintains a dominant presence in the North Atlantic region, ensuring the security of Europe and North America from external threats. Global operations. NATO has conducted military operations globally, from the Balkans to Afghanistan, and participates in maritime security operations in the Mediterranean and Horn of Africa. Its global partnerships, including with Australia, Japan, and South Korea, extend its influence into the Asia-Pacific. NATO's global network of military bases, especially those of the US, provides it with the capability to project military power anywhere in the world. Challenges and opportunities. BRICS Collective. Challenges. The lack of a unified military command is a significant disadvantage for BRICS. Political differences between key players, particularly India and China, hinder military coordination. Regional disputes, such as India's conflicts with Pakistan and China, undermine the possibility of closer military cooperation. Opportunities. Increasing economic cooperation could lead to more formalized military ties. The SCO, CSTO, and other organizations provide a foundation for greater security cooperation, especially in Eurasia and Asia. NATO challenges internal political divisions between European and North American members, particularly regarding defense spending and military interventions, can weaken cohesion. The rise of China and Russia as military powers challenges NATO's dominance, particularly in the Indo-Pacific and Eastern Europe. Opportunities. NATO's expansion to include countries like Sweden and Finland increases its strategic depth in Europe. Enhanced cooperation with Indo-Pacific partners can help NATO counter China's growing influence in the region. The comparison between the BRICS military collective and NATO highlights the complexities of global power dynamics. While NATO is a unified and well-integrated military alliance with a clear command structure and an extensive history of joint military operations, the BRICS collective, if expanded to include various regional organizations such as CSTO, SCO, OPEC+, and others, represents a more fragmented but potentially vast and powerful bloc of countries. Each of these alliances brings its own strengths and geopolitical significance, contributing to BRICS' influence in different regions. 1. Centralized command versus decentralized power. NATO operates with a centralized, coordinated command structure, allowing for quick and efficient military responses across its members. In contrast, the BRICS collective, with its various affiliated groups like CSTO and SCO, lacks a unified military command. This decentralized nature makes coordinated military action more challenging, but also allows for diverse regional security approaches. 2. Military cohesion versus regional fragmentation. NATO's cohesive military doctrine, unified by common training standards and joint military exercises, makes it an effective and battle-hardened force. In comparison, the BRICS military collective faces challenges due to regional rivalries, such as India-China tensions, which could limit military cooperation within this bloc. However, BRICS's decentralized structure could allow greater flexibility in regional security matters. 3. Global projection. NATO's global influence, backed by the United States military, is unparalleled, enabling it to project power far beyond its members' borders. NATO forces are capable of swift deployment in conflicts ranging from Europe to the Middle East and Asia. In contrast, the BRICS collective, while influential in Eurasia, Asia-Pacific, and Africa, lacks the same level of global military reach. However, countries like China and Russia are rapidly expanding their military influence, especially through naval expansions and strategic partnerships in the Asia-Pacific and Africa. 4. Nuclear deterrence. Both blocs wield significant nuclear arsenals. NATO's nuclear umbrella, particularly the United States, UK, and France, represents a key deterrent. On the other side, Russia, with the world's largest nuclear arsenal, coupled with China and India's nuclear capabilities, makes the BRICS collective a formidable nuclear bloc. This balance of power plays a critical role in global security, particularly in preventing large-scale conflicts between these military powerhouses. 1. Increasing BRICS cooperation. While BRICS lacks the military cohesion of NATO, its continued growth in economic and political cooperation could lead to stronger military ties. SCO's anti-terrorism operations, China's Belt and Road Initiative military logistics, and Russia's CSTO military cooperation point to a potential for future integration. If BRICS members, particularly India and China, can resolve their border disputes and political differences, a more formalized security mechanism may emerge. 2. NATO's global expansion. NATO's recent invitations to Sweden and Finland, as well as its enhanced focus on the Indo-Pacific region via partnerships with Japan, Australia, and South Korea, suggest that NATO is increasingly viewing China as a potential threat and may expand its military cooperation in Asia. Additionally, NATO's focus on cybersecurity and space defense positions it to maintain its global military edge in the future. 3. Non-military leverage. BRICS has significant economic leverage, particularly with Russia being a key energy exporter and China controlling large portions of global manufacturing. OPEC Plus and OIC partners enhance BRICS' influence over the global energy market, which could serve as a strategic counterbalance to NATO's military superiority. In a future conflict scenario, BRICS countries could use economic tools like energy embargoes or trade restrictions as part of their broader geopolitical strategy. 4. Strategic partnerships. The BRICS collective could also deepen ties with other non-Western alliances like NAM, the Non-Aligned Movement, and countries in Africa and Latin America, creating a global South bloc to counterbalance Western influence. Similarly, NATO's increasing partnerships with countries in the Asia-Pacific suggest that the organization is positioning itself to face off not just against Russia, but also against China in a broader global contest for dominance. In sum, the BRICS collective, despite not being a formal military alliance like NATO, represents an emerging military and geopolitical force, especially when seen through the lens of its affiliated organizations such as CSTO, SCO, OPEC+, and its influence across Africa and Latin America. Its military strength, while decentralized and regionally focused, poses a significant counterweight to NATO's dominance, particularly in the Eurasian and Asia-Pacific regions. NATO remains the world's most powerful military alliance with unmatched military integration, global reach, and technological superiority. However, the BRICS collective, with its economic clout and growing military cooperation, presents a challenge to the existing global order, advocating for a multipolar world where Western military dominance is contested. The future of global security will likely hinge on how these two blocs, NATO and BRICS, navigate their complex relationships, manage regional conflicts, and leverage their respective strengths in military power, economics, and geopolitical influence. If current trends continue, the BRICS collective could become a more cohesive and formidable counterweight to NATO in the global balance of power, fundamentally reshaping the 21st century geopolitical landscape.